Welcome to Reread. I have two short stories to talk about. The first one is from Star Wars Insider 126. It is called Buyer's Market. Lando works with Page's commandos to capture an AT-AT that's in a junkyard that's run by a local gang. And of course, Lando uses his wit to, fool the gang into, I don't know, revealing themselves or whatnot and capturing the AT-AT. It's actually pretty short. If I remember last time, I didn't remember how short this was, but it's really like 3-4 pages with big pictures to make things to make the writing small. So I guess they just threw it's a Lando story, so I like it, but is it the best? No. I mean, he has one idea that works, that he fools the gang with and tells Page's command. It was cool that he teamed up with Page's commandos to do something for them to capture this AT-AT. And he goes, well, you give them something that they want, and they always come through. Everyone's greedy. That's how you capture them. That was basically the lesson learned. Meh, I guess. Okay. The second one I want to talk about is a one-shot comic book, one of my favorites ever. It is Boba Fett, Twin Engines of Destruction. This is where Fett takes out Jodo Kast. Now, I did not know who Jodo Kast was the first time reading this book. I thought, oh, there's another one. Another pretender of Boba Fett. Well, then later on, I got into Westing Games. I got into the adventure journals and started knowing, oh, that's Jodo Kast. And it's funny because reading this book, rereading it for a while, I remember the guy who wrote it, gosh, I can't remember his name now, Mandela. He came up with a second idea for the comic book, like a part 2. And I would have loved to have known what that's an unpublished, the script was written for it, Twin Engines of Destruction 2. It probably would have had a different name, but the writer was really smart. He really wrote a really excellent book here. It was put in a bunch of Star Wars Galaxies, I think, back in the day in 4 issues, but Dark Horse Comics printed it up into their own, and that's where I read it. And I guess I collected the Galaxies later, or just didn't remember that I already read it in Galaxies, because I do have all those magazines, but I love this one shot. I think it's so good. Boba Fett hires Jodo Kast. Well, Dengar finds out that Jodo Kast is impersonating Boba Fett. He likes that because it kind of gets him more, more street cred, and people will pay him more if he thinks he's Boba Fett. He didn't argue with him. He just thinks, oh, well, I have all the Mandalorian armor. If you think I'm Boba Fett, then I guess I'm Boba Fett. And Dengar goes, you better watch it. You're playing with fire, because at first Dengar is like, oh, wait, is that Boba Fett? No, it's Jodo Kast. Well, then Dengar calls Fett and says, hey, you got this, Jodo Kast is impersonating you again. I have him. Send a message out. Manaru is mentioned in this one, so it basically ties into the Tales from Jabba's Palace storyline there, which I really enjoyed. Dengar says, that's 2 you owe me, meaning I saved your life out of the Starlight Pit 1, and now I'm telling you where Jodo Kast is and what he's been up to. So, of course, Boba Fett goes under disguise, hires Jodo Kast, and basically sets him up so that Boba Fett can kill him. There is tons of excellent action in this comic book. I mean, it really is my favorite Boba Fett story for the comic books by far. By far, I think. Out of all the one-shot Boba Fetts, this one is my favorite. Tons of action. Jodo Kast is painted in yellow where his visor is, where Boba Fett has red. However, there's a coloring mistake, and it irks me. But it happens when they're both in the same frame. At first, when you first see him, he's in yellow, Boba Fett's in red. And then suddenly, the next page, they both go red during the battle. I was like, no, coloring, you got it wrong. I guess he just couldn't figure out who was who and painted them both red just to be, the red outline visor just to be safe. But he really should have looked into it with the artist because, it kills me that the coloring is off after such an excellent book. However, when he unmasked him, I forgot about this, or maybe I just didn't know about Marvel comic books. He goes, what? You're a nobody. You don't even deserve this armor. You're not even a Mandalorian. He said, you're not even Shiza. Finn Shiza, he mentions Finn Shiza, which I know I missed that the first time because I did not remember it when I heard it. I was like, shut up. I didn't even catch that the first time around. So that's one of the joys of rereading some of this stuff, because now that I've read a whole lot more, I'm getting more of the inside connections that I missed the first time through. So Twin Engines of Destruction, I'm sure it's been collected in several trades before, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. But this is an excellent Boba Fett comic book, one of my favorites for sure. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.